What's going on, beautiful people, and welcome back to another comic book review video. I'm your majestic sayer of words, SuperCliff, and if you guys are new to this channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button, and also hit that notification bell so that you'll never miss out on an upload, and that you'll always be kept up to date with your favorite top tier comics happening in the comic book world. And today, folks, we are covering the world's most anticipated comic book ever. That being Superman Son of Kal-El, issue number 4, which is written by the extremely talented Tom Taylor. And if you haven't been keeping up with this comic book series, then definitely check out the playlist within this video's description. It will help catch everyone up with what's been happening. Now, Kal-El, Superman himself, has left Earth, and now the weight of the world rests on his son's shoulders. And although it's hard to hurt a man of steel, his loved ones make a much easier target. Thus, Jon's world is about to come crashing down, literally. And so, without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Alrighty, folks, so our story is picking up exactly where the last issue left off, with Superman just taking off and leaving Earth. And with him no longer around, we see Jonathan walk inside his house, talking to his grandparents and Jay. And we can see that it's really hard for him to deal with everything that's been going on, because as it stands, his grandparents are acting as if Superman is just going out for the day. People are acting like nothing just happened. But for Jonathan, this cuts deep because he's been to the future. He has seen the future where Superman no longer comes back to Earth. That this day when he leaves is the last time it is ever recorded that he is on Earth. But Superboy doesn't have much time to dwell on this, or anything else at the moment, because Flatline is falling down from the sky, and though no one else in the room can feel it or sense her descent in the air, Jonathan Kent does, thanks to his superpowered abilities. And boom, as we see the building start to collapse, slowly, piece by piece, as planks of wood start flying all across the room, we see Jonathan hurrying to try and save both his grandparents and Jay. Having only a matter of seconds, there is only so much he can do, and with Jay sitting directly next to him, he goes to reach for Jay first, but he learns very quickly that he can't touch him, that when he goes to reach for him, his hand goes right through him. And this is where he learns that Jay has superpowers, that he is a metahuman. Now Superboy, upon realizing that Jay can't be hurt, grabs his grandparents, and he hauls them as fast as he possibly can. And with Flatline coming down, the house goes up in a giant explosion. Shortly after, we see Superboy bringing his grandparents over to safety. And as he does a quick examination of them to make sure that, they're okay and making sure that there are no broken bones nor lacerations, etc., Jon then anticipates on what's to come. Therefore, he has to get to Flatline before they do. And by they, Jon is referring to the Justice League, because the Justice League, they get a notification for if this place were to ever be attacked, then they're supposed to head over effective immediately. Now, the first one to show up is Wonder Woman, and her coming in like a freaking speeding bullet, she comes up to Flatline, who is currently huddled up because she is terrified, for she didn't want to hurt anyone, and she was just simply used as a weapon. But the Justice League, they don't know that, and with Wonder Woman getting close to her, she tries to brush Wonder Woman away. But in doing so, she hits Wonder Woman so hard, she goes flying across the state. And with the Flash making his way as fast as he possibly can, Jonathan knows that he has to intercept the Flash before he gets there, before anyone else gets hurt. So flying as fast as he possibly can, he reaches the Flash just in the nick of time, and he lets them all know that Flatline is not a threat. While she may look like a threat after everything that has just happened, after knocking Wonder Woman across Smallville, this is not her fault, for she is being used right now. Thus calming everyone down, he asks Flatline as to what happened, because the last time they both saw each other, Jon and his dad had taken her to Star Labs, but Flatline doesn't remember any of that. Rather, the last thing she remembers is being blindfolded, and somehow she was no longer heavy, and she was escorted on a plane. After that, the only thing she remembers is falling. And so while they try to figure this all out, Wonder Woman says that she'll take on the task of watching over Flatline to ensure that she doesn't hurt anyone else or herself. So, with the situation now under control, everybody is calming down, and Jonathan tells the Justice League that he's going to find out who's responsible for this. Now, Jonathan's grandparents, they're not too upset, and sure, the house, the farm is destroyed, but hey, it can be rebuilt. And with Superman having ousted himself as Clark Kent, they knew that this was only about a matter of time before something like this happened. And so with the grandparents making their exit, we see a conversation between Superboy and Wally West. With Wally West now being the current Flash, right off the bat, Wally lets him know that, my name is Wally West and we haven't been properly introduced, so hey, what's up? Now Superboy, still being very fresh to the whole Justice League concept, he's wondering why the Flash is telling him his secret identity. But it's because Wally wants him to understand that he can have somebody to talk to. He knows more than anybody as to what it's like to fill in the shoes of your hero, and all the little doubts that come with it. The idea that you can't match up to what they were. And so really what he's letting Jonathan know is that, if you ever need someone to talk to, I'm there. And with Wally West making his exit, this is when Jonathan goes and looks over the destruction that is surrounding his entire house, his fortress. For this is where he grew up. This is the place that he loved. And the second that his father leaves, it's immediately attacked. But more than anything, they need to talk about the elephant in the room. Because before this day, he had no clue that Jay was powered. But Jay lets him know that this attack, it didn't just happen. Because yes, though this attack happened directly when Superman had just left, it has nothing to do with him. It has to do more with Superboy, with him standing up for the immigrants. This is because President Bendix, he wants him out of the equation. He doesn't want these metahumans to be able to spread the truth that tons of them are being experimented on. And so this was all an attempt to try and shut Superboy up. But we see Jay make a phone call, calling one of his friends, saying that they're going to meet up with him in the skies above Metropolis. Later on, we meet Jay's friends, named Ari and Wink, and it's here where they tell Superboy the truth, to let him know that they are also individuals whom were also experimented on, for they are metahumans. And as they come together, they realize that a ton of individuals from all across the world have been randomly popping up in recent areas, such as Flatline, with overcharged powers. And it's all because of Henry Bendix, where he's lied and bribed and cheated to be the president of a country. And since that day, they believe that Gamora has been creating metahumans, experimenting on unwilling people. And so they have come to the conclusion that Superboy was attacked because he protected those refugees. After all, he stood side by side with them and he got arrested with them. And though they can't prove any of this information, Jay believes this is a very big possibility. Now, picking up a little bit later, we have Superboy and Lois Lane, and they are sitting down having a conversation, with Lois Lane going through all the information that Jay has given them, and all of it looks pretty solid. But the issue is that there's no smoking gun to any of this. And so with the inability to be able to prove that President Bendix is responsible, they're going to need some more information. They're going to have to do some more digging. Now, at this point, Jonathan, he's seen enough. He has seen enough to know that President Bendix is responsible for all that's happening. And though he can't connect the dots exclusively, he knows that the president is behind all of this. Now, Lois Lane comes in with a level head, letting him know that he can't just let his emotions get better of him. He can't go rushing in there and try and start some kind of international conflict. Therefore, if John's going to confront him, he's going to have to outsmart him. And so, with wanting a conversation, we see Superboy make his way over to Gamora, and he meets up with the president. And with Superboy making his arrival, the president lets him know that he has been expecting him. But Superboy is not here for pleasantries, and he is not here for small talk. And he asks right off the bat, are you the one that attacked my grandparents? Now, of course, he denies all of this, saying that Gamora is a peaceful nation, that there is no way he would attack another nation, let alone a nation in which Superman lives in. Now, as his conversation goes on, Superboy immediately realizes that he is lying, for he can see that his blood pressure is up. And so he comes and goes, but as he goes flying away, the president tells his people to activate it. And not sure what's going on, Superboy hears a scream, signifying that someone needs help. And he goes racing, making his way over to a facility. And once he rips off the door, this is where he sees the man from the forest, back from issue 1, the one who was burning down everything, the man on fire. Somehow he ended up back here, and as Superboy tries to help him, tries to save him, Superboy starts to feel the heat, and he can tell that something is off, something is astray, and almost instantly, he gets hit by laser beams from every single direction because this was a trap set up by the president. This was a trap to get Superboy in here and to be able to blast him. Superboy realizing that he needs to get out of the situation, and so we see him fly right through the roof, going up into the sky, but he finds himself completely overcharged, feeling the strongest that he's ever felt in his entire life. But something is wrong. he can't control his powers. It feels like everything is just overloading on him. And this is where we find out that the president has been doing this all along. He's been supercharging metahumans into making them giant, deadly nuclear bombs. And with his powers becoming overloaded, he begins to hear everyone's cries, everybody talking and whispering. And with Superboy looking like he's about to explode, that is where the issue will end. And that, folks, was Superman Son of Kal-El issue number 4. And once more, Tom Taylor delivers another excellent issue. Things get pretty dire for Jon and his family in this issue, but thankfully Taylor does a good job of not playing the Kents, including Lois, as victims. Rather, they are a family who have been through the ringer plenty of times, and they are a family united and unfazed. But the emotional toll of his family being targeted still weighs heavy on Jon. Since his father Clark publicly revealed his identity as Superman, his family is now a target. And since Clark had to leave Earth for Warworld, Jon is the primary defender of the Kents. Thankfully, Superman made sure to have the Justice League defend his family as well. But as Jon notes, even they are not as fast or skilled enough to deter all threats. And it was definitely worth it to have a nice moment between Jon and Wally West. Taylor excels at these character bonding moments, and this was another example of Taylor finding a natural way to include a character's background from previous titles in a way that doesn't feel ham-fisted like some of his peers. Like this connection that Wally and him have, it feels pretty organic. Taylor does a fantastic job of showing how all this responsibility is weighing on Jon. And while he has to put out a ton of fires, again, literally and figuratively, the reader can easily empathize with Jon as he's trying to carry out what feels like the weight of the world on his shoulders. And at the end of the day, he's still just a kid at 17, already expected to be Superman, so he has a lot of responsibility to kind of deal with. Now, the villain Bendix is proven to be a formidable villain, and a nice equivalent of Lex Luthor for Jon. The art by Dio Nicoli is excellent. It's distinct from the crisper art by Timms that has been the standard for the series so far, but he does a fantastic job at depicting Jon in his supporting cast. He does a great job at facial expressions, perfectly complementing Taylor's writing. Jon's expressions pretty much match with what the dialogue or thought bubbles are, immersing the reader more into the story. The colors by L-Tab are also great, varied, and make good use of lighting and shadow, thereby drawing readers more onto the page. Sharp's letters remain great and lively, even when there are many speech bubbles / exposition. He makes sure it never clutters the page, and he includes excellent sound effects to boot. And here we go. Let's address the elephant in the room. Jon being bisexual. The world is ending! Wait, no, it's not. Honestly, I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, being bi doesn't change a person. It's just a sexual preference. Whatever. He's still Jon Kent, and who knows, maybe after Jay, he starts dating a girl. You never know. However, my only issue with the bisexuality is this. DC, stop spoiling shit. It's not fair to the creative team, nor to readers of comics to have future developments spoiled by big headlines, and a million think pieces and tweets long before the actual issue comes out. Son of Kal-El issue number 4 isn't necessarily the issue that's the spoiled issue in question, but it's frustrating knowing in advance things such as Jon's love interest. So come on, DC, let's wait a minute, let's at least give the audience a day to read the comic before you go on the news splurge. But yeah, overall, this issue is a stressfully compelling story as Jon Kent faces his most dire challenge yet. Taylor continues to write Jon Kent with keen, empathetic understanding as he gives more challenges for the young Superman. And the art and the colors by D. Nicole and L-Tab continue to immerse readers in this thrilling world, with great lettering by Sharp to boot. It's another excellent issue in this comic book series that you don't want to miss. Superman Son of Kal-El issue number 4 gets an 8.5 out of 10. And guys, if you like this issue, make sure to hit that like button in order to show your support to the channel. And tell me, what are your thoughts and opinions on this issue? Are you guys excited for issue number 5? Let me know in the comment section down below. And until the next video, peace.